years ago when I was struggling to make my business grow, and I needed money. I was living in my apartment, three kids to look after. I had more money going out than I had coming in, and I needed more money, which meant I needed more clients. And that was always my focus. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made. My focus was I need more money, so I need more clients. And then I was treating people that I spoke to like commodities. I was treating the people like they were the pathway to me getting the money that I needed so that I could look after the kids, right? And it wasn't until one day I was working, I had YouTube on TV, and Dr. Eric Thomas was on. Um, and he said something that just, it kind of cut through all the noise that was going on in my head and everything that I was thinking about whilst I was working for the few clients that I had. And he said, when you don't do what you do for money, it comes to you. And I thought, when you don't do what you do for money, it comes to you. And I like the thought process behind it. And then he said right after, and this is something that I've repeated to so many of my clients over the years, he said, pursue the passion and not the paycheck. Well, for me, a lot of the time, I don't say it's pursue the passion. I say pursue the purpose. So for me, in that moment, it was a moment of clarity. It's probably the biggest moment of clarity in my business career that I've ever had. And I thought, my purpose is helping people. Back when I was 14, I was still in high school, and I got asked by a careers advisor, what do you want to do when you're older? I just said, I want to help people. Now, I didn't know how I wanted to help people, the way I was going to do it, the industry that I was going to do it in. All I knew is that I wanted to help people. And in that moment, and for months previous, I'd moved away from that because I was more focused on helping me. I was more focused on the money that I was earning so that I could do the things that I wanted to do. So I wanted the money for the right reasons. I didn't want it just so I could fucking spend it on cars and holidays. I wanted it so that I could look after the kids, so that I could make sure that my bills were being paid. But I still wasn't treating the people that I was supposed to be helping with the honesty, the integrity, the respect, the dignity that they deserved and that I should have been. And from that moment, I just made a commitment, and I said to myself, from now, fuck it, I'm not going to try and make anybody a client. If somebody sends me a message, if somebody DMs me on Instagram or whatever, and they ask me a question, they need help, I'm just going to answer their question. And that was it. That was all I did. I didn't mention coaching. I didn't try to coerce somebody into coaching. I didn't say, oh, well, what I do with my clients is X, Y, and Z, and try to make being a client sound like a really appealing thing. I would literally just take their question, answer it in as much detail as possible, and then send them on the way. And within a week, things started to change. And then as a continuation from that, I made this weird little game, and I like, if you've ever seen the, like, what happens if you double a penny every day. If you get one pence and you double it every day, obviously you get 2, then you get 4, then you get 8, 16, etc. And if you do that every day for a month, you end up with £5.5 million. So I just said, I'm going to help someone every single day and then double it the next day. So the first day I'm going to help one person, and then 2, and then 4, and then 8, and take it as high as I could. And every time I got to a number where I couldn't help that many people in a day, the day that I failed, say if I failed to do 32, the next day I would go back to 1, but I would try to make the impact that I had on the people that I helped on that first day, on the second day, on the third day, more impactful than I had the first time I ran through the cycle. And then the next time I got to the point where I couldn't hit the target for the day, I'd go back to 1 and I'd do the same thing. And I just kept rinsing and repeating that process. So when I first started it, if somebody had a question for me and they were asking me about fat loss or about supplements or whatever, because I was a fitness coach at the time, I'd answer the question, and then that was it. And they got what they needed from me. But then when I wanted to make the impact of the interaction more, they would ask me the question and I would answer it, and then I would ask them a follow-up question about what it was specifically that they were doing, what the goal was, why they wanted to achieve the goal, so that I could help to So I could help to not only give them the information that they needed as far as what foods to eat or what exercises to do and how often to do it and that kind of thing, but to help the mind so that I could get them to understand the real reason that they wanted to achieve the goal, to make it so that sticking to the plan that they had was then easier because they understood the true reason for why they were trying to achieve what it was. So like you get some people that say, I want to lose weight, and they don't want to lose weight, they want to look better. But in their mind, they just think, well, losing weight is the vehicle that I need to get to that point. But weight loss is set as the goal. The goal is to lose weight, but then you lose a bit of weight on the scale, mission accomplished. So, what's the real reason? Because I've worked with thousands and thousands of people over the 20 years that I've been coaching, and I get some people that come to me and it'd be weight loss. That's the goal. Is the real goal was because they wanted to look fucking sexy again and they wanted the partner to want to fuck them again. That was the real goal. They wanted that intimacy, that sexual connection with the partner to come back. In my career now, life coaching and helping people with the businesses, some people say I want to increase my revenue, but they don't. It's increasing the revenue isn't the goal. Peace is what their goal is. They want to make sure that all of the bills are paid every month, and they don't need to worry about it. They don't need to try to clamber to get new clients and get somebody to come into the business so that they've got that extra money so that they can pay the bills. They want to have so much money, so much revenue in the company that they can pay themselves enough so that they know every bill's going to be paid every month without fail, with no stress, with no drama. Every time they go food shopping, it doesn't matter whether it costs £50 or £250. They know they're going to put the card in the machine and it's going to be accepted. They're never going to get declined. That's what it comes from. It's the initial goal is never normally the goal. So I used to make sure that people understood what the real goal was and not just the surface level one. And from that point, I've never had any money troubles. I've never had any business issues. I've never struggled since, because I focused on the purpose and not the paycheck. I made sure that I could help someone in a genuinely profound way before I would even discuss coaching with them and before I discuss prices, because there's no point discussing prices and tiers of service and the way that it works if it turns out that I can't actually help that person. And the more authentic you are and the more you actually care about helping people, the easier it's going to be for you to scale your business and earn more money and achieve that like goal life that you've got in your head. If you genuinely care about helping people, focus on helping people. Don't focus on trying to find some trick or tip or hack or whatever that's going to increase lead flow and it's going to get you more followers and it's going to do all of this other shit that you think is going to lead you to the ultimate goal that you've got, which is financial comfort, financial security, financial freedom, whatever degree of financial abundance you want. But stop treating the people that could be potential clients like commodities. That is probably the most important thing for all business owners. Certainly if you're in a service business, if you provide a service for people, that is absolutely imperative to understand. Focus on the purpose and not the paycheck. And when you don't do what you do for money, it comes to you. And I promise you faithfully, that is going to be the way that it works. It worked for me. It still works for me. And I've worked with so many people over the years that have been struggling. They've been struggling. And I've worked with people that have had a lot of followers. I'm talking over 100,000 followers, and they're struggling to pay the bills. And it's because everything that they post is an angle. Everything that they say, everything that they do, every story, whether it's words on a screen or whether it's a picture or whether it's a talking head story or whether it's a reel, everything that they do, every bit of copy in the caption, it's all to try to get people to want to buy something, instead of just producing as much content as they can across all the different platforms, whether it's emails, LinkedIn, Instagram, it doesn't matter where it is, right? Just produce content to help people, and all of the money worries that you've got will go away. Honestly. Of all of these mentorships that you can go to and the advice that you can be given, if you follow that, if you pursue the purpose, pursue your passion for helping people and not the paycheck, and do it consistently, do it diligently, do it authentically, and do it for as long as it takes, you will get to a point where you'll never need to worry again. I promise you faithfully. It's worked for me. And any time I've taken my eye off the ball, any time I've gotten too bogged down with some fucking bullshit analytic of views or likes or comments or shares or the money that's coming in every month, there's been a dip. Every single time I take my eye off just purely helping people, there's a dip. And then as soon as I realise and I go, fuck that shit, and get back to just trying to help as many people as possible in the most impactful, profound way that I can, everything starts to climb again. That's what you need to do. If you're struggling, that's what you need to do above everything.